With that, ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to our next session, and it is equally exciting and very, very to the point. It's a quick fireside chat by our presenting partner, Kyriba. And to present this fireside chat, I have not one, but three esteemed speakers. And I would like to call them on stage in the order of the sequence. Please help me welcome them. Joining us first for the fireside chat, Ms. Shruti Gupta, Principal Business Value Consultant, APAC and MEA from Kyriba. A big round of applause for Shruti. Shruti, welcome to the stage. All yours. Joining next, we have Mr. Choliya De Silva, CFO from Hayleys PLC. A big round of applause to Mr. De Silva. Welcome to the stage, sir. Glad to have you. And joining them in this fireside chat, we have Mr. Arindam Karmakar, Director Presales from Kyriba. A big round of applause to Arindam ji. Welcome to the stage, sir. So Shruti, Mr. De Silva and Arindam ji, all over to you. Looking forward to a very powerful 20-minute of fireside chat session. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming here today. It's a pleasure here. Very thankful to Mr. Choliya, who has flown all over from Sri Lanka to be here with us. So thank you, Mr. Choliya, for coming here and having this panel with us.
Thank you very much, first, Shruti, for inviting me for this to share my experience with you, and also to Kyriba. A big thank you to Kyriba for inviting me.
So before
just to give a quick background about Hayleys, not sure how many of you have seen Singer sewing machine. Yeah, we all have one Singer sewing machine at our home. Our grandmother and mothers used to do it. So Hayleys manufactured that. So Hayleys is the largest manufacturer largest conglomerate in Singapore, in Sri Lanka, and they have companies across the world, including Australia, Singapore. So a very big company, one of the largest company in Sri Lanka. Go ahead, Shruti.
No, thanks, Arindam. Thanks for that introduction. And Mr. Choliya, I would like also you to speak a little bit about your company, your role, and just giving a better idea to the audience about your world.
Yeah, thank you. As Arindam said, a lot of you might not be aware of what Hayleys is. Hayleys is Sri Lanka's largest and most diversified conglomerate. To tell you about the size, we have more than 150 companies, subsidiaries, into 16 verticals. So we are into logistics, shipping, aviation, plantation, tea exports, into activated carbon, aluminum extrusion, rubber gloves, retail. As Arindam said, we have the largest retail chain in Sri Lanka. We have more than 450 outlets. And Singer is sewing machine is one of our products. It's not only sewing machines, we are leading the entire white goods industry in Sri Lanka. Also, we are into renewable energy. We have we have already 200 megawatts of renewable energy, and we are just got contracts for another 200 megawatts of wind and solar farms. Yeah. Just to give you the context that may not be helping, stop me if I'm taking too much time. We have, to tell you on the terms of treasury, we have more than 1,500 current accounts, and we are dealing with more than 35 banks. The turnover of Hayleys PLC, annual turnover, is about $1.6 billion US dollars, and my facility level is about 1.5 billion US dollars. So it's huge.
Yes, no, that's really massive, and that actually is a good segue, Mr. Choliya, because that leads me to my first question. That what were your business challenges, given that it's a massive operation? There's so many legal entities you have, so many business lines you have, being such a big conglomerate. What were the business problems that you were facing, that you were trying to look in the market for a solution? What business impact those challenges were having?
Yeah, we were doing all our treasury activities manually. So basically, manually in the sense in Excel. So our facilities, our drawdowns, our interest calculations, all were Excel based. And also the bank balances, the balances were generally linked to ERP. So we had some issues in getting the daily bank statements uploaded because of statement issues and reconciliation issues. So from treasury point of view, we had very little visibility into the liquidity position and our debt position. And also, so the accuracy of some interest calculations, because interest, there are various parameters and various scenarios that you can have in interest calculations. So some change daily, some weekly, some monthly, and various types of different calculation sequences were there, so it was quite difficult. That was one of the issues. And another thing is we were a lot of people dependent. You know, if somebody goes on leave or if somebody is in a meeting, I could not get that information what I wanted for my daily activities. Also, because it was manual, consolidation was a huge task. You know, adding all the banks separately, companies separately, it was a nightmare for the month-end management reporting and so on. And one more thing was when you negotiate, generally you negotiate rates for borrowing as well as investment. So unless you blot them properly, you will have a huge audit issue. You know, how do you prove that you have got the best rate when it comes to the year end? Also, comparison was a major task because everything manual. You have, 20, 25 papers in your desk, on your desk, and you are trying to compare one against each other. You are running against time when you are negotiating a deal, especially on FX and all, it has to be instant. So it's very difficult to do it manually. Also, sometimes when you wanted to look at history, you have to go to your files, bring the files out because you don't have facility papers and the other details with your fingertips. So that was one reason that we thought, okay, it's time for us to invest on a treasury management software. So we went ahead for a software.
Yep. One more thing I wanted to add, and that came out during our discussion with Mr. Choliya, was the fact that since Hayleys has multiple entities spread across different parts of the world, and each entity takes debt exposures, credit exposures. So consolidating everything in one desk, and just to make sure that how much risk Mr. Choliya is carrying in terms of the credit exposure is something, or in terms of the debt exposure is something that was very important for him. Thought of highlighting because that was one of the areas where we wanted to automate and make sure that he has something which is available on a real-time basis.
That's really great that you shared that with us, because it sort of helps us to understand so what. Because there are many companies who, you have manual processes. Excel is everywhere. Even when you have a solution there might be some activities which is still on Excel. And people, when you speak with those companies, many times you get that sort of answer that so what? Okay, I have manual processes, so what? I get information. If I'm not getting it at the click of the button, at least I'm getting, 1 week later. But so what? I'm getting that information. It might have some error. I don't have that much confidence. So what? I do not have a centralized, liquidity visibility, but I'm okay with it. So I think you helped answer that so what, that because when you move from a manual process to a automated process where you have timely visibility, because visibility in cash is something that all the company will have. I don't think there's any company on this planet which cannot say that I do not have a visibility. It can be 3 months down the line, it can be 1 month down the line, it can be a few weeks down the line, but it's the timely visibility that counts. And also the confidence, like you said, Mr. Choliya, that you're not, how do you know it's the right information that is coming? And then there is information lying all around. So having that use case of that it enables you to get better rates, you know what is the risk that you possess, so that you can take the appropriate measures not to repeat or not to have that fiasco that we saw a few months along the line, which startup in the Silicon Valley, they just all shattered because they had huge credit risk exposure with just one bank. So all of that really helps to understand that automation is not the objective, right? It's a means to achieve better decision. And what does that better decision mean? So one of the decision is getting better rates that can have huge impact on your financials, right?
Yeah. Correct, that's right. So I think visibility, and as Shruti said, real-time visibility is very important for decision making. So if you don't have that, I think even previous panel also highlighted the importance of having real-time visibility into your data. So if you don't have, you may be taking a wrong decision. So that's very important. And the thing is with it's a software like Kyriba, what we are using right now, that help us to have the real-time visibility, and also I can slice and dice the way I want. If I wanted to see it by a bank, I have the information by a bank. By a different debt type or investment type, I have the information. By a company, I have the information. I can have a different time frame and have the, like for long-term debt and short-term debt, I can have the different, and also the interest rates, and I can easily compare. I know who is paying the highest, and I know who is paying the lowest. I know the rate, what is the rate for short, medium, long term that I could get, which bank gives me the best rate and which bank gives me the worst rates. And also one thing I think I could not highlight earlier was the single borrower limit. I don't know whether it's in India also. We have a single borrower limit because of our size. We could not, we have to limit certain transactions or borrowings to a certain level. And when we were manual, I had a nightmare. Sometimes you negotiate a deal with a bank and later find out, okay, you don't have any headroom to go through that transaction. So, you are back to square one. So now we monitor on a daily basis what is our single borrower limit, what's our debt level, and what headrooms we have. So we can take a decision, informed decision. In addition, I think if I may continue on, I said about liquidity, the bank balances, because accountants sometimes are only interested in getting their bank reconciliation done at the month end. I'm talking about smaller entities. But this solution gave us SWIFT. Bank statements comes via SWIFT. I don't have to do anything. Automatically, every day morning, I have the bank balance. The bank statement is downloaded into the system. So I don't have to do anything manual. It's there. So I know exactly what the bank balance is. I know where is the idle cash is, and I can transfer them to money market or call deposit accounts, and where I know where there are overdraft. Sometimes the same entity, in one bank account they have excess cash, and one bank account they have overdraft. So all those swapping, because previously treasurers didn't have that information. Sometimes they think it is managed, but real situation is different. So that really helped us to manage. And another good thing is that we don't have to carry any physical records, everything, and you can attach, in this software, you can attach all your facility papers and everything. So if you are doubt of any transaction, you can recall the facility paper and see it's there all in the system. No more manual records.
So one thing that I wanted to highlight, that Hayleys is our first customer in Sri Lanka, and they went live in 8 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
8 weeks time, and we connected to more than 32 accounts in the first go.
Yes.
Yeah, more than 32 accounts in the first go. So you can imagine. So just to highlight on the fact that bank connectivity is one of the key aspects in any cash and liquidity management project. What we have done for Hayleys is not to do a host-to-host connectivity with bank or an API connectivity with the Sri Lankan banks. We have used what we call as the Kyriba's BIC. So we, as an organization, have a bank-level BIC, and through the bank-to-bank SWIFT connectivity, the banks have sent the statements to us. So neither Hayleys have to do a single connectivity with the bank, Neither Kyriba has to exclusively establish any connectivity with the bank. We are using the underlying SWIFT network, and since we are part of the SWIFT network, we are getting the statements, the MT940 or the CAMT statements directly from the bank. So that's how, when I speak with, when we are sitting with Mr. Choliya, we can proudly say that 32 bank accounts, I think more than 12 banking relationship done in 8 weeks' time. So because of the fact that the connectivity was pre-established.
Right now we have more than 1,000 bank accounts connected.
Right now, 1,000 bank accounts. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah.
And why we decided was because we realized the low-hanging, just to add to what you said, we saw the low-hanging fruits, so we wanted to address them first. We went with that module first, so that's my biggest problem is covered then.
I think you guys already answered my supposed to be next question, which was how the solution was helping. So it's really good that you highlighted how the solution is giving you that single point visibility, how the connectivity was set up so fast, because that's the one of the USPs of the Kyriba solution, which I guess you also noticed that we do not establish connections for each and every client. Whatever we develop, it is reused, whether it's using SWIFT or whether it's using our already configured SFTP connections or API connections. It's all pre-configured and pre-tested so that the time to value that any company can get is much more accelerated. It's usually 80% accelerated compared to if you were doing it by your own. So that's the power of the solution. But Arindam said, it's Sri Lanka is also a very interesting market. And when we were having these conversations with Mr. Choliya, he was obviously, the company is huge, so you will be obviously exploring the market. So I think the final question I wanted to ask with Mr. Choliya is that why Kyriba? We are here to toot our horns. Obviously, we'll say nice things about Kyriba, but what is it that attracted you and gave you that confidence that you are indeed going with the right solution provider, which can deliver such impressive results, like bringing you up to speed with 30 plus accounts in just 8 weeks, and then thousands bank accounts in just a matter of few months?
Before Mr. Choliya starts, let me also give a quick background to that. We haven't met Mr. Choliya in person before signing the deal. It was all online. Number one.
Power of technology.
And also, Kyriba didn't pitch to us. It was we who went to Kyriba and said, we want your software.
We were lucky with that.
So I will answer your question. So we did our own analysis. So we looked at all the treasury management systems available, and we did our research, and we selected the top 5. And Kyriba also came up during this top 5. However, we were more inclined to go with SAP. I suppose nobody from SAP is here. We were more inclined to, our preference was to go with SAP simply because SAP was our ERP solution provider. So we were almost 90% of our entities we were using SAP S/4HANA. So we thought, okay, if we go with SAP, it will be much easier to integrate. And it will be an easier solution because staff already know about SAP. We actually thought it will be a cheaper solution to go ahead with SAP. Then only we shortlisted finally SAP and Kyriba, either SAP or Kyriba, and we wanted both entities to give us presentations. Then we realized that Kyriba was more user-friendly, much more user-friendly than SAP, and it gave all what I was looking from treasury point of view. So whereas and also one more thing was the implementation time, as Arindam mentioned. So it was quite quick implementation because everything was set up. So it's table based. I don't know what you call it in technical terms. So there's no programming involved at all. So it's everything was set up. So it's
just configurations.
Yeah, so it's easier to go live. And also, we saw the integration also. We thought integration would have been a problem, but we realized that it is seamless.
Yeah,
So-
the reason is because even though people might see that SAP and Kyriba are competitors, which in some aspects we are, but Kyriba is also a partner of SAP. So that's why we have the certified connectors, which makes it much easier. And Kyriba being actually a part of the ecosystem rather than, fighting against the ecosystem. So that's also the reason why it became very seamless, because of those certified connectors and Kyriba being so deeply, embedded in the SAP ecosystem.
Yeah. And last but not least, Kyriba gave us the best pricing solution also.
There you have to thank me.
We were hard negotiated. We were hard negotiated. I mind you, because of our size, we could negotiate with them for the best pricing.
That's very enlightening, Mr. Choliya. I think we have only few seconds left, so I would like to ask if there is any question from the audience. We already have a hands up.
Yeah, please
Yes,
go ahead.
please.
Sir, a brief question. Since you mentioned about SAP and Kyriba, and maybe in the context if you put Oracle also, one of the
Yes.
leading ERP.
Oracle also came in our top 5 and shortlist.
Correct. So, sir, in terms of selection of the Kyriba, what important factors you considered in terms of the structure of the ERP packages that are there? That is one. In terms of functional capabilities and results that it gives, that is second. And third is, I would say, customization that is required for meeting your requirements.
And also the time that it takes to implement and the price to implement.
So can you, sir, little bit elaborate about the customization part and which you said that it doesn't require programming. So are those ready-made modules ready that is plug and connect?
I think Arindam would be better position to answer that question.
Yeah, of course. So, since I am from the solutioning side, but tell me, Mr. Choliya, I mean, from the report that you were expecting, all the reports were delivered to you, right?
Correct. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still not 100% perfect. We
Yeah.
still have some issues because we are still in the implementation process, but 95% there.
95% done. Okay, so from the customization perspective, that's the example that I wanted to highlight. We have not implemented in any other organization in Sri Lanka so far. This was our first client. And you see, from the reporting perspective, from the process management perspective, it was configured just the way Hayleys wanted to look at it. So it's a very simple, easy to use, easy to implement tool. It's a solution which is pre-connected with all the standard ERPs. What does that mean? It means that when we are implementing the solution, then not a single piece of code needs to be written to connect to the ERP system. So these are API connections. The implementer just need to configure the API, map the tables, that's it. And the connection is done.
And not
We know
only
what-
ERP, also the banks, the connectivity with the banks.
Yeah,
also.
so that is on the ERP side, and of course the connectivity on the banking side, which again takes considerable amount of time for any project execution like this. And that's the most crucial part, because ultimately if you don't get the bank statement, then you don't get 100% visibility on the bank balance. So that's very crucial. So as I was telling that, Kyriba has ready connections with all these banks, so we could easily get the account statements, number one. Number two, the other thing that also you should consider is the fact that the whole banking world is moving to ISO 22 formats, which basically means that currently you are getting MT 940, 942s for your intraday and end of day statement, but then very soon you will move to CAMT 053, 054 statement. So when you do that, if your IT team is doing the integration, then you have to redo this thing again and again. Whereas we have already invented the wheel. Why do you want to reinvent? So there are there are organizations which are now getting 𝐸𝐵 053 statements, 054 statements across the world, and they are using Kyriba very effectively. So I don't think there is fun in reinventing the wheel. Any other questions?
Any questions? Yeah, I think we can take one more quick question. Can we have the mic? Please do introduce yourself and question to which of the eminent speakers.
I'm Dipti from 𝐸𝐵𝐞𝐚 Financial, and Arindam, actually, I would like to ask you this. I mean, whatever you all have been mentioning right now, I get it. For any CMS, the crux, the key problem is to address the various touch points that cash will have. For bank, you mentioned you have a solution, one platform that you had, routing it through. For internally in different processes, for cash, there are various touch points. Each organization will have a different process. So your module itself, one is API with the, any other ERP that they must be using. But your module itself, do you offer the customization required for a specific process that particular company might be, needing, requiring?
So what we have done is we have created a process layer on top of the actual solution. So you can now create your own process during the implementation or even after that. So everything is process driven in the system. So if you want, so let's say this solution is used by manufacturing, the solution is used by services industry, and each industry will have their own process of managing cash, consolidating the exposures from different sources, consolidating the forecast from different sources. So that process layer is something that can be designed very easily during the implementation, and this gives the flexibility for the system to incorporate whatever processes that you have.
Thank you so much. And can we have a big round of applause for Shruti, Arindam and Mr. De Silva for that wonderful fireside chat. I would now request Mr. Deepak Agarwal, Head of FX Trading and Vice President of Treasury Department from Bandhan Bank. Deepak ji, if you could kindly come on stage to felicitate our honorable speakers here. Thank you so much, Deepak ji, for coming on stage. We will start with Shruti first. Ms. Shruti Gupta, ladies and gentlemen, Principal Business Value Consultant, APAC and MEA from Kyriba. A big round of applause to Shruti for her wonderful insights in this amazing fireside chat that we had here. Moving next to Arindam Karmakar, Director Pre-Sales from Kyriba. A big round of applause to Arindam ji for his wonderful contribution in this fireside chat. And Mr. Choliya De Silva, CFO from Hayleys PLC. A big round of applause to Mr. De Silva for his valuable insights in this fireside chat here. I would request the honorable speakers to kindly step forward for a group photo, and Deepak, if you could also join them, that would be fantastic. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, once again.